prepared. If we are not prepared, yung ginawa po natin no last pandemic will happen again. And there are people who will be complaining. And in accordance with the different news, no, yung disease X na yan is a potential pandemic that will kill a lot of people. So ngayon, ang tanong, yung bang COVID-19 ay I really wanted to ask yung PSA, no, if I be allowed, no. PSA, andyan po yung PSA, no. Can you kindly introduce yourself, your name and your position sa PSA?
Good morning, Your Honorable Chair. I'm Adrian Cerezo. I'm the Assistant National Statistician for the Social Sector Statistics Service.
Kasi you had submitted sa amin yung yung updated. Can you kindly show this itong yung galing sa PSA. Ang updated niyo po kasi sa 2021 po ay meron tayong sobrang mga namatay na 299,000. 299,000 kasi nga nag-jump siya from 2020 na 613,000 lang yung namatay natin. Nag-jump tayo sa 885,669. So, makikita po natin diyan, no. Is this true?
That's accurate, Your Honor.
Accurate po 'yan. So, galing po sa inyo 'yan.
Yes,
So, kung pagbabasehan po tong inyong pinadala sa akin kahapon, yung 2015 to 2019, ano pong observation po ninyo doon sa mga namatay sa atin?
Well, as per our data, the average expected deaths is from 2015 to 2019 stands at 586,630.
586,636. So yun yung average ng 2019 hanggang 2020. At 2015 to 2019, di ba?
2019 po.
Yes. So in other words, ang mga namamatay sa atin taon-taon, andyan yung average, 586,630. Am I right?
Yan po yung
Okay.
pinaka-average.
Noong 2020 po, bumaba ng konti, 613,000 yung namatay. 613,936, tama? Okay.
Opo.
Noong 2021, dalawa yung pinadala nyo sa amin. Isang 879,429, tapos naging 885,669. Yun yung jump ng mga namatay sa atin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct? Tama yun, no?
Yes.
At in other words, yung 2021 natin, 885,669 na namatay, compare mo doon sa last 5 years na 586,630. So malaki yung jump na hindi siya normal dahil ang normal lamang is may variation ng 4%. Is that correct? Ayan, no, makikita kasi, kinuha ko yung variation yun 4.6%. Pero nung 2021, nag-jump siya ng 50%. 50.09%. 50.9%. So, laki. Alam mo ba, pag kinukumpara ko sa ibang bansa, yung mga excess deaths nila, because WHO have also written on their website yung 14.91 million na namatay sa buong mundo because of excess deaths nga. Ngayon, ang tanong ko sa iyo, PSA, anong naging cause ng mga kamatayan ng excess deaths? Meron kayong mga listahan ng mga all causes of mortality? You have submitted also yung all causes of mortality, correct?
Yes, sir, we have submitted your...
Yes. So sa lahat ng ito, sa pinakita nyo na binabasa ko, para lumalabas during the 2021, lahat sila nagtumaas yung mga namatay. Di ba? Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, how can you explain this? On your side, can you explain this?
We are not the appropriate to provide an explanation.
Kasi kung
We can only
500
provide the increase in data.
Yeah, I know kasi ano lang kayo, statistics. So from 586,630, nag-jump siya ng 885,669, 299,039 yung difference. And kung makikita mo yung graphing nyo, yung other causes of death, na pagkalaki-laki, pagkahaba-haba, wala naman nakalagay dyan kung ano yung mga causes of death.
Yun po yung mga tinatawag nating ill-defined.
Yung mga tinatawag nating
Hindi, mga coded po na hindi may paliwanag. Or
na hindi may paliwanag na kamatayan.
Hindi properly coded. Your Honor.
Hindi properly noted kung ano yung mga
Coded po.
other causes of death na yun.
Coded po. coded.
COVID.
Properly coded na yun pong nilalagay na code para ma-determine kung ano yung cause of death.
So wala siyang reason kung ano yung kamatayan niya.
Various, meron pong mga nilalagay pero hindi ho mai-categorize ng appropriate.
Kasi kung, ewan ko kung sa inyo galing din tong 10 leading causes of mortality in the Philippines. Ang pinakamataas ay yung mga ischemic heart diseases, neoplasm. Pero yung other causes of death, during that time, nung 2021, 2022, 21% yung other causes ng death na hindi. And that is this, Secretary Duque? You've been in the DOH before, so
Yes.
can you kindly explain to us what happened to this sudden rise of all the different leading causes of mortality?
Well, Your Honors, no, the reasons for the excess deaths are, number one, the COVID deaths themselves. That's a not an insignificant number. Although when the Duterte administration ended in June 30, 2022, the registered deaths reached about 64,000 deaths. But we believe that because in the earlier stages of the pandemic, testing capacity was very, very limited. So it could be that there were really more deaths on account of COVID, but could not be ascertained precisely because there was no sufficient testing capacity to document that that's attributable to COVID. Number two, remember that the focus of the government, the IATF and the DOH, was really to contain the virus, to prevent a heightened infection rate, a increase in the case fatality rate. So that was the focus. And because of this, the interventions such as lockdowns, actually, and on top of the fear, the general fear that was so pervasive among our people, they didn't want to go to the hospitals. Ako, pupunta ako sa ospital, trabaho ko, tignan, alamin yung mga pasyente, alamin yung mga capacities ng mga ospital. Nakita ko, yung mga doktor sabi sa akin Sek, yung mga dating ganun ng tumor nung pagbalik na sa amin, nung natapos na, nagkaroon na ng bakuna, bumaba na yung ating mga infection rate, malaki na yung mga tumor, no? So, nagtaasan yung binigay na listahan na number one cause of death based on the PSA statistics, ischemic heart disease, number one yan. Number two, I think neoplasm.
Diabetes mellitus.
And then diabetes, no, number one is ischemic heart disease. Number two is neoplasms or cancer. Number three is cerebrovascular disease. Number four, diabetes mellitus. And all the other diseases that have been correctly pointed out to by the good chairperson. So, yun ang mga karamihan na naging dahilan. Yung focus natin, kasi syempre, ayaw naman natin na milyon-milyon ang mamatay sa atin. Katulad ng mga ibang bansa na napakayaman, napaka-resource rich, kagaya ng Amerika. For your information, Mr. Chairman, 1.5 million ang kanilang namatay. Of course, sasabihin ng iba, syempre, times 3 naman ang kanilang population, so tama lang na mas malaki yung kanilang death rate. Pero hindi ho. If you correct it to population per million, ang laki ng baba po natin. We're only about 450, 480 per million deaths. Compared that to America, which was about close to, if my memory serves me right, parang times 10 times 8, times 10 per million population. Ang patay sa kanila was like 4,000 thereabouts, no? So, hindi naman na talaga nagkulang. Although, of course, marami tayong mga leksyon na dapat matutunan sa nagdaan na karanasan natin sa pandemyang ito. Pero marami naman tayo din nagawa. In fact, kung titignan ninyo yung ranking ng Pilipinas, and this can be gleaned from the world data on COVID, world in data, 155 ang ranking natin in the negative metrics of one infection rate per million and death rate per million. So bakit ko sinasabing negative metric? Kasi sakit, infection rate. Yung isa, death. The lower you are, that's the context, the better is the reflection of your government's COVID pandemic
Pero,
response.
okay,
Oh.
Secretary, naputulin lang kita, sorry. In relation doon sa issuance natin ng Resolution 148-P, no? Ito yung sa IATF being the chairperson of that task force. Doon nakalagay po that the vaccine is safe and effective. And in accordance with the Republic Act 11525, specifically nakalagay, yung inaprubahan po namin batas dito, that it is an experimental vaccine. And it undergoes the phase 3 and phase 4 of the procedure. So, kung siya ay experimental, how can we be sure of that this is safe and effective? Kasi sa resolution po nyo, exactly nakalagay dito. Safe and effective siya. That's why you issued resolution number 148-P.
Your Honor, precisely,
Hmm.
I would like to underscore that the law recognizes the experimental nature. There is no denying that this is an experiment, the experimental nature of the vaccines. But because of the severity, the deadliness of the COVID-19 pandemic, we had to rely on the experts,
The WHO.
the WHO and our own cohort of experts, the Technical Advisory Group of the DOH, the National Immunization Technical Advisory Group. Marami yan mga 8 o 9. And lahat ng IATF resolutions po were based precisely
Isn't it right to assume, Secretary, that the reason why you have issued the resolution 148-P, no, and thereby causing a lot of violation on the rights of our people?
No, there is no
no, no, no,
violation.
no. What
On the
we're trying to imply here, Mr. Secretary, that there are so many people who are complaining, no, about the forced vaccination that was issued to all our people because of this resolution 148-P. Kasi nga, indirectly, we have forced our people to have vaccine. Because, why? Pupunta ka ng mall, pupunta ka ng school, you will not be allowed to enter. Why? Because you have no vaccine. Di ba? I think that is an indirect violation of Republic Act 11525. Because exactly, Republic Act 11525 are stating that there is no mandatory vaccination. And as a matter of fact, hindi makakaapekto yung vaccine card na dapat, hindi naman po siya nakalagay sa 11525, Mr. Secretary. And that's the reason why we're trying to correct, if ever that will there be another pandemic, this kind of resolution that was issued during the previous administration must be corrected because hindi siya nagko-comply with the Republic Act 11525. Moving forward, because trying to have justice to those who are asking for justice is an area that is not a part of the legislative. So people will go to the courts. And as a matter of fact, pagpunta sa court is a long process. Long process para maprueba natin that indeed, ang nangyari is because of the vaccine. Di ba? But what we are trying to implore here, because we are the one who approved that Republic Act 11525 and an indirect policy ng 148-B na kung saan pinagbabawalan ng mga tao na lumabas, somehow you are mandating the forced vaccination to our citizen. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman, Co-Chair, meron pa ditong issue ang DILG that the different LGUs must enforce or must give incentives to those LGU na magkakaroon ng 100% vaccination. That was issued by Secretary Anyo during that time. And all the issuance of the Department of Labor and Employment with regards to those mga establishment not to allow those who are not vaccinated to enter their establishment. This is somehow a violation of our fundamental rights in accordance with Article 3, yung ating basic rights for life, liberty, and property. So, we are not here to blame you, Mr. Secretary. What we are trying to find out is what went wrong doon sa ginawa po natin. And now, the WHO will approve the ratification of the 307 amendments binding all of us to their health protocol. Kaya yun ang tinatanong namin din ng mga members dito eh. Dapat po malaman natin anong agenda ng representative ng WHO dito. Because kung magkakaroon tayo ng isang one health protocol, one health standard that being dictated by the WHO, again, face mask, again, lockdown, again, one vaccine, then I think problem will arise again because yung mga tao na naapektuhan ng kanilang liberty and life are being curtailed. Yun po yung ating gustong i-point out dito, Mr. Secretary. Members, you wanted to...
Can I?
Yeah, sir, go ahead.
Yeah. We, of course, submit to the wisdom of the House of Representatives, and that's well within your prerogative. But let me just highlight, other than the fact that we continue to appreciate the Congress for enacting RA 11525. Let me highlight that on Section 7, yung authority ng HTAC as the provision of the law states, no, is on the basis of a preliminary data arising from the clinical phase 3 clinical trials. Hindi po hinihingi dito na dapat completed yung clinical trial. So this is again a recognition of the experimental nature of the vaccines that were used for our vaccination program. But be that as it may, the law, which is a beautiful one, also is very clear on the provision of the indemnity fund. And that is why I would like to make a manifestation to the chairperson that perhaps PhilHealth, when I was preparing for this hearing, the 500 million indemnity fund, a statute, a provision of the law, only 4.4%, only 2,008,000 pesos have been disposed or allocated. And after 2 years, and I think that performance is quite anemic and something has to be done to review so that moving forward, all those people who have been affected with these severe adverse effects post-immunization, they can really be truly helped. Again, as you said, I'd like to use your word, moving forward.
Yes.
And be more positive.
And Mr. Secretary, I would like to dwell on that. Yung sinasabi mo sa Section 7. Section 7 states that the issuance of the emergency use authorization that was issued by FDA. Ang tanong ko lamang doon, I will be asking also the PhilHealth since you questioned about the utilization no 500 million indemnity fund. Yun nga, PhilHealth, can you kindly tell us kung unless you have a question to Secretary Duque, I will be dwelling with
Salamat, Chair. No? Actually, hindi na kay Secretary Duque. I think it is, he explained it very well. No? But I just wanted to ensure, yung sinabi lang ni Chair Fernandez kanina, the point of this joint committee meeting is to ensure that moving forward, pag may nangyari ulit at sana walang mangyari, ay sigurado tayo yung step-by-step na protocols na ginagawa natin. And that is why, again po, babalikan ko lang yung kay USEC Tayag. USEC Tayag, moving forward, ang DOH now will do its complete staff work. You will take a look at all these amendments being proposed and the timelines, and that when you are asked again in the future, in this committee, joint committee meetings or any committee, ay pwedeng upfront na yung sagot at malalaman natin, alam nyo kung kailan man lang yung deadlines, yung timelines, and kung ano yung linalaman. Can we have that assurance, Music Tayag?
Yes, sir. And personally, I apologize if there was a misunderstanding of what I have stated in the previous meeting, because the ongoing IHR discussions I described in that meeting pertain to the 300 plus amendments that will be discussed in another meeting before it's presented to the World Health Assembly meeting in May.
Yes.
Thank
Yusek
you.
Tayag,
Pasensya na
coming
po.
from DOH, the meeting before the last one, 2 meetings ago, may joint meeting, hindi po kayo yung nag-attend. Who attended from the DOH? I think it was a lady who attended.
I was informed it was Undersecretary Lilibet David. So
Is she here today, this morning?
she's not here.
Yes. So now moving forward, who in DOH will be in charge of all this? Kasi siya ang hindi, during that meeting, parang hindi nga siya naniwala na, hindi niya alam na November 30 yung deadline. So the question now is, moving forward again, who in DOH will be in charge?
Right now, I'm the Undersecretary for the Public Health Cluster. And in my opening statement last time, Your Honor, I mentioned that I oversee 5 offices. That's the Disease Prevention Control Bureau, the Epidemiology Bureau, the Health Promotion Bureau, the Knowledge Management and Information Technology Service, and the Pharmaceutical Division. The representation of the Department of Health to the IHR amendment discussions is with the Epidemiology Bureau, sir.
So you're telling us now that it will be the epidemiology unit that will be in charge of all these amendments, and sila yung may know-how at sila yung pwede namin tanungin for any amendments.
And
timeframe.
and Your Honor, in cooperation or in discussions with other offices as well, because there are several articles amendment that is not
Yes, but there is still a point person.
yes
And that
po.
is the epidemiology
That's
unit.
correct, sir.
Sino po ang head ng epidemiology unit?
Ang head po ng Epidemiology Bureau ay si Director Alitea de Guzman. She's not here because she is now in Geneva with the other Department of Health representatives for the intergovernmental negotiation body for the pandemic treaty.
In that unit po or bureau, ilan po sila doon?
Nandito po ngayon yung
So how
division
many
chief
first
nila.
are in that bureau?
Okay.
How many personnel?